Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the carpet flooring kit for the Jaguar E-Type 2+2. So this specific kit is applicable to a Series 1 and Series 2 models. The Series 3s did differ, so see our other video for that version there. So this is Series 1, Series 2, and this specifically is for a right-hand drive automatic gearbox. They did differ in a couple of areas between left-hand drive, right-hand drive, and automatic and manual gearboxes, so bear that in mind. We have all of the patterns, but this specific one is a right-hand drive automatic gearbox. This kit's been done out of our Palomino wool. For our E-Type ranges, we only offer the wool, which is the premium carpet we offer. For other marks of cars, we do also offer nylon, although we do always recommend that wool is used as it's superior in quality, durability and finish. But for the Jags, we only offer the wool. And this is a Palomino set, which is effectively a sort of biscuit colour. We've got a few shades applicable that work well with biscuit. Biscuit interior trim is effectively this sandy sort of colour, very, very commonly used during this era of production for Jaguar and other marques. And obviously we edge our carpets to tie in with the main trim colour unless specifically told otherwise. So these are Palomino, but there is another colour called honey and another colour called cinnamon, which both look and work well nice with biscuit interior trim, so worth keeping that in mind. Obviously we always send samples to our customers so that they can see everything before we start making it, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, it's a Palomino wool carpet set and it's been edged in biscuit to match the main trim within the car, which is biscuit or biscuit light tan as we refer to it. So just to start at the front of the car and give an overview of bits and bobs, but before I do, a word on the edging. Like I say, it's done in biscuit, but we use leathercloth. We only ever use leathercloth to edge our carpets, which is the original material that they used, otherwise known as vinide, sometimes confused with Rexin, but effectively they're all the same material. We do not use vinyl for our edging of our carpets. Other companies out there do as a cost-saving exercise. We do not, because edging of carpet looks a lot neater and tidier in leathercloth. Do see our blog post and my video about that element of detail. And you'll notice that not all the pieces are edged. The general rule of thumb with edging of carpets is that when everything is said and done and in the car, you're unlikely to see a raw edge of carpets. So for example, on these gearbox sides here, a couple of the edges are bound, but the sort of top and bottom edges are not, and that's because the top edge is underneath the center console area and the bottom edge will be tucked underneath the front floor area. So that's the general rule of thumb with those, is that when everything's said and done, there's no raw edge on show because they're either hidden by an adjacent panel or they're hidden underneath an adjacent carpet which is edged. It's also worth noting with that our patterns, although obviously very much based on originality, we have made adaptations and improvements over the years, normally in line with those sort of unbound edges, so we'll make the bits longer or deeper than they need to be to allow you to tuck them under adjacent carpets, and it just means that you get a nice seamless finish between all the carpet pieces, which allows for, should we say, the idiosyncrasies of the production line era of the sort of 60s and 70s. So bear that in mind. It's one of the things that we've done over the years to improve these things, working with very high-end restorers all over the world, and it's one of the many reasons that we're known globally for our quality workmanship and fitment of our parts. Anyway, starting at the front of the car, you effectively have the front gearbox sides and the rear or main gearbox sides there. They run down the side of the gearbox on the kind of vertical elements of things, underneath the dash there, and then sort of underneath the console area there. If I can try and find this in a book, I shall do. So effectively we're talking these sort of bits here and then the bits right underneath the gearbox there. This is actually from a two-seater, this picture here, but the concept of those pieces is exactly the same. So they're the kind of main gearbox side bits there, the bits towards the back here, and then the front ones are up and right underneath the footwell there. I'm not sure we're going to get much of a better picture of those, I'm afraid. No, don't think so. But yeah, you get the idea. Then you've got the toe board carpets. So they are literally the firewall to the engine bay. They're up on the vertical like that, right up in the toe board section area there. So you get a pair of those. Sorry, just jumping back to the front gearbox sides there. For the left-hand drive models, you often had a D-shaped big heel pad on that piece there, but for the right-hand drive models, they remained plain without any heel pad element on them. I believe for left-hand drives, obviously, it's a place for you to effectively rest your right foot when you're sort of not on the throttle, as it were. Then you've got obviously the main front floor carpets. Now the front floor carpets are one of the areas that do change between the automatic and manual gearboxes. They're bigger and smaller depending on which one you're going for there. As I say, these are the automatic gearbox sides, automatic gearbox versions rather. Edged all the way around. Then you have a Storvik heel pad, which is like a sort of plastic, durable plastic material with a grain on it. Now, dependent on the main trim of your car, obviously we want to try and tie that in as much with the main trim and the edging. Storvik's pretty limited in the colours available. You've got a decent range, sort of biscuits, greens, grey, dark blue, black, red. I think there's a beige as well, off the top of my head, and a tan. But we obviously offer a very, very wide range of vinyls and leathers, the widest in the market, in fact. And so what we tend to do is if there's not a obvious Storvik colour to match the main Dynamat, we end up doing a plastic heel pad, covering it in leathercloth, which is the exact material we use for the edging, and using that as a version of a heel pad so everything ties in. Again, it's down to those little details that we go to as standard to make sure that your restoration is as, should we say, breathtaking and whatnot as possible. So keep that in mind. So front floors, Storvik heel pads on both sides, edged all the way around. Then moving a bit further back, you've got this effectively prop shaft tunnel, I guess. No edging on it because everything's tucked underneath either adjacent carpets or it has the centre console on top of it. It's got that cutaway there, which is where the handbrake comes up through, I believe, into the centre console section there. And you had little cutaways, which is for elements of the cross member side of things, and then the seat upstand brackets effectively. Here and here you've got the cross members, so they are literally over the sort of square shaped cross members that go from left to right on the car, that are directly underneath your seat, so they bend up, down, up, effectively those pieces of carpet there. Then you've got the rear floor carpets here. They do have the cutaways, which are again for those seat bracket elements of things. On the upstand you're not really going to see it. Oh yeah, you can just about make one out there. So that's the cutaways, all pre-cut for you, ready to install into the car. And you can see there it kind of sits up on a step element there, which is why there's a slight curvature kink in there to allow for that step up in the car there. Again, they're edged all the way round. Even down to what we've done here is we do the cutaway, but then you have this bit here, so the actual seat mount, you can actually slot that underneath there. So again, the little touches that we go to over years of experience. And then finally, at the back here, you have kind of the lower bulkhead kick panel areas. It's effectively these two pieces below the rear seat. So that's for the step, as per the rear floor section there. And they get bits of vinyl sewn onto them that effectively, if you lifted up that rear seat cushion base, that would get glued all the way to the bodywork section of there and folded over. So you can just see the lip of it there, but effectively most of it is glued and hidden in place there. So that's those sections there. So that's pretty much the carpet set. We do sell it as a set like that, but it is included as standard in our trim kit if you're going down that route, which makes things significantly cheaper overall if you're doing a complete restoration. The only other thing to really keep in mind at the same time in terms of other items that you may want to purchase, underfelt soundproofing. So we offer the natural jute felt versions of these things. Just FYI, if you do get one of our kits from us, it's black side facing up towards the sky. So we offer the natural jute felt. Now obviously a lot of people go down the route of using the modern day heat and sound barriers, things such as Dynamat or Dodo matting, a few different brands out there, and they're great. And we're never going to say that our natural jute felt is comparable to that in terms of the technology for heat and sound proofing. They are not. We literally use a natural jute felt, which is very much akin to what they used in the 60s and 70s. However, one thing to bear in mind, and it's a common question asked, is do I need one of our underfelt kits, undercarpet kits, if you're using the more modern day stuff? And it's all down to the thickness of the modern day stuff. The really premium modern day sort of Dynamat goes down to absolutely nothing when it's in the car. I've actually put it in my Series 3 Roadster. And so in that case, you also would be advised to get a natural jute felt on top of it, because you've got to remember that the carpets are designed to fit with a certain thickness underneath them. We recommend anywhere between 5 and 10 millimeters underneath. Our felt is about 6 mil. So bear that in mind. But if you've gone for one of the thicker versions of the modern day stuff, then you won't need ours necessarily. Completely up to you. It's also nice as well because it's a soft material, so it gives a nice padding underfoot. But the main thing to be aware of is the positioning of the carpets. You need to make sure you have the thickness underneath it. So that's the underfelt kit, which we do sell separately, but again is included in our trim kits. And then you've obviously got the fixings. Now the Jaguars use these kind of plastic mushroom, male and female. So again, we sell the fixing kit separately, but again included as standard in the trim kit. You can see some of them there in the areas. They're always black. Some people do choose to paint these, which looks nice. But yeah, they were always black at various points in the main sort of floor area carpets. So that's the other bit that you should really consider getting at the same time. And then lastly, we also do some rubber overmats. So we can do a set of effectively front floor rubber overmats. They have the Jaguar face logo on them. And they work nicely there for any of the long wheelbase E-types, so effectively all the 2+2 4-seaters and also the Series 3 Roadsters. Again, I've got them fitted in my car, so see our YouTube video where I'm showing off my car. You'll see those rubber heel pads. I just put them in there to stop the front floors from getting mucky. Then if I'm at a show or whatever, I take them out so everyone can see the nice carpet instead. Yeah, so again, another thing that's worth considering if you're getting a carpet set. We do again sell them separately, and they are not included as standard in the trim kit. They're always an optional extra, so bear that in mind. I think I've covered my bases there. Hope that was as concise and clear as possible. Please let me know if you've got any other questions. Thanks again for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts, and I'll see you next time.